Welcome, if this is working, to the very first edition of the SuperMassive NFT show. It's our chance. It's our chance to dig into the world of NFTs. I am joined by my co-host, Simon Wan, Hollywood actor, author, musician. If there's a creative discipline that he hasn't done, I want to know what it is. The art behind me was drawn in a Sharpie by Simon Wan. How are you doing, Mr. SuperMassive Simon?
I'm all right. But first, in accordance to the Bored Ape Club, I've got my own serum here. And I'm going to do my own serum. Oh, 500 ETH this cost me.
We will get on to the undisputably weird story of the mutants. I'm also joined alongside by, oh, look, he's changed costume. I'm joined by Al Gazimov, producer-director at the Defiant, who'll be on the decks spinning, well, JPEGs basically. But then that's what this whole show about, isn't it? It's about JPEGs. Have you got pigtails?
I have. I also have. Because I was going for the outfit thing, but I thought it's a bit hot. This waistcoat is snug on me, dude. Lockdown and all that fat NFT money making me eat takeaway.
Too many pork buns. So there's a bit of nostalgia here because Simon and I have known each other for a very long time. Together we make up SuperMassive. And if you see me on Twitter or on Telegram, you'll see me as SuperMassive. And SuperMassive is the name that we came up with to describe the stuff that we used to love doing, the spirit of what we used to love doing, which is a bit crazy, a bit weird, and it's just stuck with us. And so we did a podcast called The Break-In, where it was basically the whole idea of the podcast was how could we break into Hollywood in under 12 months? Swanee, what happened?
Well, what happened is we tried to do it through writing and being clever, as we both write. We've written loads of TV shits, films, and we thought we'd try and do it through the producing and writing route, where we did quite well. We wrote a film together. You wrote your own film for me. And it turned out it was, well, one of the stipulations was that we had to have an agreement from Hollywood. It had to be.
It had to be an offer of paid work from a Hollywood production within 12 months.
Yes. And on month 11.5, I luckily had an audition for it's quite a small franchise about some orphan boy with a stick. Lives in a castle. But they were doing a prequel, stuff like that, about another, like an autistic kid who likes to finger animals. And I got a part in it, and part of the letter, it was from Burbank Studios, LA, because it was a Christmas movie, and so I think it was about a week before the 12 months that I actually got an offer of work from Hollywood. So yeah, we did it like that.
And the film in question was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So within 12 months of starting the podcast, Simon Wan actually did what, I mean, it was a stupid idea. Like, how do we break into Hollywood in 12 months? And you did. You actually did it. It was extraordinary. So that was kind of the end of the podcast. But now we are back. The point of this story is basically we are, I believe, creatively qualified to talk about NFTs. I have spent months and months and months examining them, looking to the market, spending times in communities, and you've done the exact opposite. All you've been doing is getting angry about them and drawing real art and telling me that I'm an idiot. And somehow, in the middle of all of this, we have aligned on something, which is there is something here and it's worth you and me talking about. Am I wrong?
Well, you've told me for the past, I don't know, it's probably 18 months now, maybe 2 years. You're saying get into NFTs. NFTs is a new thing. It's a new art. And I have, as you know, and people that know us, we've locked heads over this for months, years now, because ultimately I think or thought that NFT art as an art form, when you compare it to like legacy art and traditional art, is just a load of shit. And that means shit if you're American or from Thailand. That's shit. And it's irked me so long. Why? Mainly because people are getting so much notoriety and so much press, and ultimately so much money for things that at first I didn't really understand, because I didn't think there was much value in it, especially in things like CryptoPunks. How fucking wrong I was. And anything that was bit based or generative, I just thought this is shit. It's not art. It's the viewing experience is terrible. The production experience is terrible. I'm locked in this sort of, or was locked in this poetic thing where artists have to be starving, they have to be tortured. I used to draw menus for a cafe back in Nottingham, and for that I'd get free lunch, and I was like, this is it, I've made it. You know what I mean? So I sort of attached this whole old-fashioned poetic thing about the starving, tortured artists and it being an expression of the soul and all that stuff, and it clashed a lot with what I was seeing in the NFT space, which was just a load of shit, really. Well, clip art, JPEGs, you know, which could be seen as clip art. The differences and the separation between what would be a $1 50,000 bundle clip art pack or a $2 million superstar NFT was nothing until Robin did something very unique.
We're going to come back to that story right after these messages. No, we're not. We will come back to the story of the apes. People who know the channel will know what I did with some apes, which possibly I might regret now. I know my wife certainly is not that happy with me for having done it, but you may not have liked NFTs, but the market definitely did. We're going to look at some stats now because it's worth having a quick kind of snapshot of the market. So this is NFT stats where we can find out what's going on. Number of NFTs sold in the last 24 hours, 55,676. Bear in mind, this is only on Ethereum. Trading volume, 197 million. And if you look at the general state of the market, you know, you can see we felt like NFTs were a big thing months ago. But compared to where they've gone, they were nowhere. What has happened is we've had these big peaks and troughs, and basically when the mutant apes came out, the market really hit a frothy insanity level where apes were trading for six-figure sums and more seven-figure sums. But that has kind of taken a nosedive this week. And there's one particular reason why that might be. But if you look at the top collections in the last 24 hours, Loot for Adventurers, another really weird project we're going to dig into. The Gevils, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Atom Bomb Squad, another really interesting one, and Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then Art Blocks curated. And Art Blocks almost single-handedly dragged this market into a place it hadn't ever been before. Another place I like to look is Henny. Henny is hosting the Currency, which is Damien Hirst's NFT experiment. In a nutshell, he painted 10,000 A4 size paintings with some dots on them. They're all completely different. And then he turned them into NFTs at the same time. If you bought one of these, you can exchange the NFT for the physical artwork, or you can keep the NFT. And at the moment, you can have you have the option to change either. But in a year's time, in July 2022, you will have to make the decision: do I want the NFT or do I want the painting? And then whichever one you choose, the other one will be burned. What this represents for me is the incursion point between the meat space and the NFT space, the real life, the muggles, and where we are now. And that's why I like to look at the sales of the Currency NFTs, just to gauge where that tension lies. These things were selling for $2,000. They're now selling for $54,000. Anyone who bought one in the opening sale has done extremely well.
Can I just say that the actual stats and the graph for Damien Hirst NFTs look like the actual NFT?
I know, but that's deliberate. There was a brilliant Damien Hirst tweet where someone had drawn it like a shark. They'd sort of figured out that it looked like a shark, and then brilliantly, because this is how this space works, someone then turned that tweet into an NFT, and you could buy the NFT of Damien Hirst's tweet about this shark. It's yes. There's that brilliant line in Jurassic Park where Jeff Goldblum says, "We were so preoccupied with whether we could, we never stopped to think about whether we should." But that doesn't matter because, you know, NFTs find a way.
And so his dick fell off in The Fly.
His dick fell off in The Fly. I have it in a jar. You can buy the NFT. So this is the state of the market. We are experiencing a dip. And why experiencing a dip? It's because Bitcoin is charging. Ethereum is charging. People are looking to go back into the assets that are more liquid, that are safer. And that is genuinely what's happening. But it's very difficult to sell an NFT. So that the sort of pull down on NFTs is not quite as pronounced as it can be in shitcoins and other things like that. So that is the numbers. We're going to move on to some of the big stories of the week. And so on, what did you make of this one? Visa buying a punk.
I thought that was funny since they are literally a centralized bank system. And I don't know whether the crypto crowd would agree, but I thought the whole point was it's decentralized. I mean, they're just shilling themselves to be cool with the hip kids. I mean, how much did they spend on it? I don't think it was. I think about 150K, wasn't it?
I think it was a bit more than that.
Was it? I don't think it was millions. You know, you think they'd have stumped up like 50 million for it, but I think thing is, it is a shrewd move because as more people now of our age, which is mid-20s, start getting into finance and money, you know, you could get a Visa card with your NFT on it, which would be quite cool. So like you could be issued a Visa card with your NFT that you got. But I don't know, it's kind of like pedigree chum buying in grime trainers or something like that. They've seen what's trending, they've seen what's cool, and they've tried to jump on the jive train. But also, it's funny that they are a credit centralized banking system, and the whole world of crypto is fuck you, Visa.
Well, I have a slightly different perspective on it. There's a marketing budget at Visa, obviously, and Visa clearly understands the power of cryptocurrency to make them a ton of money. And I think they realized that the marketing value of a punk over a long period of time was far greater, considering the outlay, than, you know, a traditional advertising campaign. It's so difficult to get advertising through the general noise and chatter, but this simple pixelated, 64 by 64 image cuts through all that noise.
Well, we're talking about it now. We're literally talking about it now. Well, we're doing the job for them,
but that's the profound power of the punks. What was also interesting was that Lava Lab signed with UTA this week, and there are going to be some serious lawyers looking at the commercial rights of punks, Meebits, and autoglyphs in the coming times. And I wouldn't be surprised if the so-called creative IP rights to punks or Meebits or whatever you have will be requested to, you'll be asked to sign something different. I can't help feeling that that's where it's going. However, the fact is, somebody at Visa had enough clout to be able to convince Visa that buying a CryptoPunk was the best move of the year. And for that, whoever it was, I salute you, because that couldn't have been easy. So Budweiser changed their Twitter profile to one of these. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do. It's a Tom, what's his name's rocket ship, 3-way space mission NFT project to the moon.
You're exactly right. And you win a packet of crisps. Well done.
Yes,
the Tom Sachs Rocket Factory. This was another kind of interesting sale. Tom Sachs being one of the kind of great modern contemporary artists, has done all sorts of interesting things. Building rockets. He sold components for these rockets. There was all sorts of different ones like Chanel, Ferrari, Wonder Noodles. There was Campbell's Soup. And you could basically build the rocket that you wanted out of the 3 components. Budweiser bought the Budweiser rocket. So it's a complete rocket, a perfect rocket, as they call them, not a Franken rocket. And they are now using this as their Twitter handle. They also bought the beer.eth and beyond beer.eth ENS domains. Like, what does that tell you?
I'll tell you what they should do. They should buy beer.me.link. That's quite a good one. But I'll tell you what it tells me is there's a lawless state of uncertainty in terms of trademark and copyright, because, he's taken well-established brands. And he was a contemporary artist traditionally anyway. He had a name for himself. But where are the rights for these products coming in? Because he has Chanel. He has all the famous brands, basically. And I know they're artist representations, but for him to just take a brand such as Budweiser, use it and sell it. And yes, it's cool that they brought one because, as you say, going back to the visas thing, they're going to get free yappity yap from it. But at some point, are they not going to say, hang on a minute, this is our proprietary logo. These are our trademark images. This is great that you're doing all that. But okay, down the line, stop using our logos or we go 50-50. I mean, that's one thing I wanted to ask about, especially with Tom, is he's just kind of taken other people's logos. There's Nike, there's Dolce & Gabbana.
I think we're entering a world where it's fair use. Fair use is the argument. Mm-hmm. What was the argument when Andy Warhol's using Campbell soup cans?
Well, I mean, we don't need to go into the history of pop art, but
I
agree.
This is pop art. We are in the middle of a pop art style gold rush, And
no one had done that before. That the thing, and that's something that, going back slightly to the original statement. It's if you look at things like minimalism, which is a lot of the art blocks and the generative art stuff, and then pop art, which is kind of the other side of it. There's three sides. There's the generative. It's hard to say. Generative. There's the PFPs, and then there's kind of like your other stuff. It had never been done before. That was one of the reasons it was so popular, and it was interesting. It was taking something that was benign, boring, every day, and making it into an event or a happening. His happening happened to be print, which he thought was the cheapest thing to do. It was the most linked to common people, multiple screen prints. It wasn't unique. But now, even though Tom Sachs' stuff is great, the fact that he's put a logo on something and sold it again, it's not, McDonald's, I mean, and Hello Kitty. You're like, come on. That, like, if those are great, it's a great idea, and it does look like a penis. Without those logos, would they have sold? I'm going to say, and without his name, 100% not. No one would have given two shits about that. But
there's one word, which is transformative. Is it transformative? And for me, yes, it is.
Why is it transformative?
It's transformative because it's taking something banal and it's taking it and turning it into a rocket and sending it into space. And it's I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
It's been done in the 50s, you know, and that was my main thing about it. I don't mind. I mean, I'm a full shill for NFTs now. I've seen the light. I had my arm twisted.
Hallelujah! We did it. We finally got him.
You got me.
We got him.
We got you, man.
I've had my balls dipped in ETH honey.
But the badger is coming to get you.
Yeah, it's just that I don't like people saying these things are new. I think they're good. I don't think they're as transformative as you think. I think they're iterative. I think it's and that's not a bad thing.
Potato, schmamato, kebab, turkey roll, whatever.
Is that what you're cooking tonight?
Whatever. It's like, just wait for the cease and desist and just keep going. That's basically
exactly. No, I'm all about it. What I've been doing, I've been copying other people's NFTs and doing fucking Sharpie drawings of them and selling them.
They're called derivatives, man. They're called derivatives. You've got the creative rights. They've got well.
Let's call it D-Rye.
D-Rye.
Just coined it. D-Rye.
Right.
Oh, come on. D-Rye.
D-Rye. We'll release an album later this year. D-Rye. And that's no. Some of the other headlines, there was Vincent van Gogh launching a fund to buy the very best pieces of crypto art. I believe FTX bought a full AB curated set. Logan Paul released an NFT crypto zoo. And he also bought like these 0N ones, these Onis, which flew to like 7.5 ETH before collapsing down again. I mean, who knew that was going to happen? And one of my favorite stories of the week, Pranksy buying a fake Banksy because he could, and then he got the money back. So
giving the money back, which I kind of like, you know, and something like that happened within the Top Dog Beach Club community, where and that's what I wanted to talk about at some stage, whether it's today or later on, is the fake stuff. But that again, they gave the money back, which is a nice thing. But that was, I mean, that's just sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy that Pranksy would get a fake Banksy. I mean, come on,
it's beautiful. But the thing about Pranksy is he takes a chance, and if he's wrong, he'll put his hands up and say, "Yeah, I was wrong." But at the same time, he could have been right, and he could have bought the first Banksy NFT. What's brilliant is that someone then turned that into a meme, and then turned that meme into an NFT, which you can buy on Foundation.
There you go. That's the
history. We are turning history into tradable value. I think one of the things that people don't quite understand about NFTs, and it's built into that Damien Hirst piece. If you decide to trade in the Damien Hirst NFT for the physical, you will have 1,000x. Why am I saying 1,000? You will have orders of magnitude more difficulty selling it, trading it, offloading it if you decide you don't want it anymore. Whereas the NFT is so easy to trade. You can move it between Palm and Ethereum. You can trade it on OpenSea. And these things are so easy to trade with people, to gift to people. Once it's physical, it's a lot harder. And maybe that means that physicals retain that specialness and that, because I love having my physicals. But at the same time, I know that, you know, if I decide to trade that Damien Hirst for the physical piece, then it's done. I won't trade it. I probably won't sell it. So there's, you know, he really has contextualized that question about what's more valuable. And it's the thing that we tried to do with the break-in. Was it not back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, but also I think going to what you said there, I think there are two definite, distinct types of viewing and absorption protocols going on here. You can walk up to a painting in your own time, you're face to face with it. You're in a space. The fact that you're there, and if it's not your painting, you'll be somewhere else. You've had a journey. You've had a physical movement. You're with someone else. Maybe the viewing experiences of physical art are so different from holding a phone in your hand, which is kind of, you know, what they are. Oh, look at that. See,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Hang on, I haven't finished yet, Skid. Before you walked off and started showing everyone your
that's because you were going off on one, so I went off on one.
No, it's cool. But I think the two viewing experience is different, and there is a danger of how easy it is to buy and trade, because I was looking for a Korean chicken shop the other day after the huge sort of revelation I was into NFTs, and I brought a couple of lambdas on the way back, and it's dangerous. Because you can't walk into an art gallery and just pick up a couple of 3-4 grand prints and just take them home with you. But I got a couple of really cute lambs. I was like, just on the way home.
We're going to get onto the lambdas. But I mean, I have a friend, Aurora, who paints beautifully, and she does these.
Big up, Aurora.
These renditions of the PFPs, because there are certain PFPs that I'm just not going to get rid of. I don't really even care how much they're worth. I just actually genuinely love them. And so I get them immortalized in paintings, and that means that I'm very much less likely to sell them. It feels like it sort of cements that connection with them and makes them much more valuable to me. It's the same with my ape. Like that ape, I just can't see myself selling it. I will probably fractionalize it or leave it for my kids or something like that. I just don't see it. We are going to move on to our favorite drops of the last 2 weeks. I mean, I have so many favorite drops from the last 6 months, but is there any one in particular that you have enjoyed or that sort of really spoke to you in any way?
Yeah, Top Dogs, the Top Dogs Beach Club, and especially with the news of the Top Dogs or Top Cats Beach Club. I don't even know what they're going to be called yet. I like that, and and also, you know, full disclosure, I met up with the guys. We had a little video thing where it was Robin and us guys. Yeah, here we go. Look, the Maneki Kang, yes.
This is the one you put in the notes. Don't trip us up. We have a very strict strict running order here. Yeah, we otherwise the person that writes the notes. Yeah, this is the lucky mannequin game.
You showed me some of this stuff a month or so ago, and I wasn't too keen on the art. In fact, I thought I didn't like it. I thought it was shit. And then you said that they're going to reveal the Lucky Cat things, and you showed me one of the Lucky Cat icons, and I was like, I really want it. There's something nice about the art style and the expressions and the soul within them that I enjoy. And also, I had the fun stuff of having the airdrop, having the whole thing of if you have a previous NFT, you get the new one, which as a newcomer to this scene is a new thing to me. Having one thing in your wallet and then all of a sudden something else appears, which was quite fun. And obviously, I love cats and I love Lucky Cats. And yeah, I really like this. The community is fun as well. I was trying to scroll that there. It's you.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, Top Dog Beach Club. We've had on the show before. This is the collection. What I love about these guys, they're just very responsive. They are about as execution focused as it's possible to be. They just get stuff done. And you've met them in real life and hung out with them and seen. I think that makes a big difference. If you've got an anonymous team that could just rug at any moment, it's a different story when you've got a real team. And we brought them together with you actually, and a bunch of other people on a live stream, the very first live stream we did, and they're great. And you're right, the cats that are dropping are cool. They're coming up next.
The Akira, the RTKF, KTKFF.
We're gonna get onto that.
Yeah.
That's later on. The drop that I enjoyed the most was Lambdas.
Yes.
For no other reason than basically no one had spotted these.
So cute.
Someone we'll talk about in a bit. Sven alerted me to the fact that these were ongoing, and then when I saw the art, I was just like, these are adorable. In fact, they're beyond adorable. I've
got that one.
Yeah, so the art is just delightful on these. They were very, very cheap to mint, and they just, I don't know. I show them to my kids, and they absolutely love them. They're so full of personality. When you look through the collection, there's a huge amount of variation. They're not expensive. They'll be a great starter NFT for people. And I bought a bunch of them for no other reason than I wanted to give them away. I wanted to be in a position to give them away to people. We won't be giving them away this week, probably next week, but I just think these belong in the hands of people who will really cherish them and love them. And it's really not about how rare they are. It's about having something that just makes you smile
Well, they're
for
so
me,
affordable as well.
yeah, that they really,
0.2
and there's just, you can feel there's been a bit more thought and love done in just the way their roadmap looks. They've just, I just liked it. I just liked it a lot. That is our favorite 2 weeks. Now, the major talking point for me of this last week was Bored Ape Mutants. And what's so fun about this is that you were actually on this journey with me.
I was.
And can you explain what happened? Because I mean, I think people are aware that I gave away some Bored Apes to people at the office here, but I also gave one to you. And unlike them, you had not sold.
No, what happened is I've got the text message. Robin, rewind, telling me to get into this whole thing. I kept telling him to go get fucked. If you haven't got a pen, it's bullshit. NFTs are dead. It's rubbish. And then I have a text and it just says, if you want one, I'm going to give you one. And it says, don't give me one of these apes. I don't want one. They're boring. They're rubbish. And
that's what you said, right? That you said, yeah.
And it says, whatever you do, don't send me a monkey. I don't like them. And then it was like a couple of minutes later, I just got too late, and then a link. And I just set up a MetaMask wallet, and I was like, fucking monkey. What's the stupid fucking ape? And I realized that Robin had paid, a real money for it. It was a 3 ETH or something at the time, whatever. But that's that's a few weeks in Spain or whatever you want to spend your money on. It's not stupid money, silly money. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then Robin just says, look, this might be worth something. And he's been saying that about everything from. I
have not.
You have. Every single NFT. I'm talking about stages.
But you really didn't want it. That's the thing.
Want it. I was like,
you really didn't want
angry.
it.
I was angry that you sent it to me. I was like, I don't want this stupid thing.
It's the wonderful thing about this space is it's permissionless, so I can send you whatever I want. I mean, you don't have to keep it, and people send like Logan Paul or Gary V a bunch of stuff in the hope that he'll see it and go, I doubt that he does. He gets sent so much shit now, but you specifically, I mean, I haven't sent you that much because I didn't want to overload you, but this one I did. And I wanted you to be part of what I thought would be a really exciting journey.
Yeah, well, what happened?
So it turned out to be.
Yeah, because then I knew that the value was attached to ETH and things were going up and down. Because of that, I was checking it every now and again, seeing the numbers go up and down. And because of that, I was looking at OpenSea and I could see other people's art. And then from that, I was on Twitter and I had to learn Discord, which is still a bit nuts. And that's when you can see the community. And then all of a sudden, from this usual bullshit wall of period pains and COVID on Twitter, it became these groups of communities and seeing how excited they were and all these roadmaps coming out. What?
I'm sorry, what? What Twitter are you on?
My algorithm's fucked. I'm on menopause and barn doors.
What have you been buying? It's certainly not NFTs.
Well, it's because I'm not on Facebook, so Twitter's honest. It really knows what I want. So anyway, so I got into communities, and also then I realized that these things were going to go big. And I remember Robin saying, "Look, no, trust me, these are going to go huge." And a lot of things are going to go huge because we are SuperMassive. But because I had it, I kept my eye on it, and then I became attached to this little fucking monkey, and I liked it because it had a similar jacket to what Robin had, and I had the sunglasses, and I kind of got familiar with it, and then all of a sudden, the price started going up. This was before I knew anything about mutant apes. And all of a sudden, it was worth 20 grand. And I was like, whoa, this is worth 5 times what it was. And I was like, this is crazy. I could sell now, and I've made money out of nothing. And then it was like 30 grand. Then it was 40 grand. And I was like, whoa, when's this ever going to stop? And to make me stop like addictively checking it, I put a number on it, which was 55.55 because I was in the bath.
So and 55.55
ETH. I was in the bath and there's a green tub of shampoo stuff and it's 55,555 mint leaves in each thing. And also, if you say that's Chinese for 5555. So I sat there going And I had my phone with me because it's waterproof, and I just put a fucking buy now price 55.55 at that time, which is about 100 grand. I was like, it'll never get there, whatever. And then the mutant apes came out, or the serum came out, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And Twitter, Discord was just going nuts. The floor price, which I've started to be obsessed with now, which I've learned through you, was just getting higher and higher. The top price was going mad. The discrepancy between floor price and top, I think at the time it was about 1.3 million, the most expensive Bored Ape, which is now nothing. I think there's at least 20 in the top 50 that are above $1 million. So I just
when you say they're above $1 million, because there's a difference between putting sold for, yes, that's the big thing. There's a big difference between putting a price on something and it being worth that.
No, sold for. So I was like, oh fuck me, this could be mad. But then I checked into rarity, because now I'm into rarity sniper, and I'm kind of nowhere. My ape was kind of lower.
It was a floor. It was a floor ape. It was a floor ape.
It
was a floor ape. So the floor for you represents probably the most likely price it would go for. It's harder to price the rare ones, and particularly when there's a desirable trait that may not be as rare, but it's like trippy skin on apes. The funny thing about the floor, just to jump in, the floor is an attempt by the market to turn non-fungible tokens into fungible tokens. Have you ever thought about that? It's basically an attempt to give it a market price that can be determined and therefore traded at, and it gives you a place where the liquidity can sit. It's a weird thing that you have this non-fungible token that's deliberately designed not to be fungible, and we try and express it through all these fungible mechanisms and price discovery tools. It's just bizarre. But carry on, sir. Carry on.
So I had this arbitrary number, 55.55, thinking I was going to break realistically about 50k UK, because I thought, that's a big amount of money. I am primarily an actor, which means I work 2 weeks a year, and the rest of the time I'm fucking not doing anything. So I just spent all my time looking at it. And I wrote it on my wall. On there, you can see there's arbitrary numbers from the coins that I did have. I've got a bit of this and that, and I put 50. And I've got a line under it, and it says 100. And I thought, if it gets to 50, I'm going to start to go, You're
talking £50,000?
UK GBP sterling. And so I thought, I could do a lot with that. I could go to Bali for like a year and just ride scooters, proper stuff, grown-up stuff. And then it started going to 60 and 65 UK. And I was like, this is crazy. And then all of a sudden, this mutant serum came out, which I had no idea about. And it went ballistic. I was on the train, and this is the whole risk reward greed over art that we did in the rug pool, which is a long time ago now, it feels. Because my main issue with it was where the value is in aesthetics over meaningfulness and greed. So I had to try and temper myself a lot, saying, look, don't be greedy, don't be greedy, don't be greedy. But then it was a free spin. It was a free token. It was, it was a dude came and put a chip in my pocket in a casino, and I just put it on black. And so I was going to lose nothing. And then I was on a train thinking, this is mad, seeing all these people trying to buy this serum. Everyone thinking, oh, well, these mutant apes are going to be worth 2 million off the bat. The floor price is going to be $1 million immediately. And I had a video call from Robin, or it was a message from Robin. I could see him typing. And then as he was typing, I got an email. Bing, bearing in mind, I've got shit internet. I'm on a train. Your ape has sold. I was like, shit. Because I just read stuff about people selling things to the wrong people. And I was like, oh, it's a scam. It's a fucking scam. I'm on the train. Someone's hacked my Wi-Fi. And my ape's gone at like 55 grand. And went into OpenSea, did it. And it was like, oh, shit. And then I got a message from Robin just saying, oh, I think you should cap it at 60. This was kind of all at the same time. And he said, I don't think
basically what I said was, if you want to sell your ape, because you were getting to that point where you're like, this is real. Yeah. This makes a difference. I said, if you want to sell your ape, you have to do it before they release the serum. Yeah, there's this window, because it's a sell the news event. So this is like, you've got this time. So it's really now, or it's going to drop a lot. And actually, it hasn't dropped as much as I was expecting to, but it has dropped. And so you sold. I think it got up to like 59 ETH the floor. Yeah, which is just crazy.
I was 0.4 ETH off the floor, which considering I didn't buy the ape, didn't want the ape, and didn't sell it on purpose, think I've done all right.
Yeah, and then you did that mythical thing. You sold the top.
I did. By accident.
You sold the top. I mean, it's so I got you this ape because it has the same waistcoat and tie is mine, but it also has the 3D glasses. And Supermassive was all about 3D glasses. We had a character called Supermassive Raver, so I thought it reflected you. But now it's no longer yours; it belongs in the hands of someone else who has.
I don't look who owns it. I don't want to. I don't want to look.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
sad.
because for the rest of time, your name will be catalogued as a previous owner of that ape. So whoever gets it, there is provenance there, and that could end up meaning nothing at all, or it may end up meaning something. If it has passed through the hands of Simon Wan and it has history, it's there in the blockchain. It can never be removed.
Well, and it has your name as well.
It does.
In our little name hug party. It's the real Supermassive and Simon Wan. I mean, that's like says it all. And it was it was a crazy journey. And within that time, which is maybe a few weeks or maybe a couple of months or so, I started to understand it. The community stuff. I understand the importance of Discord, the importance of Twitter announcements, and understanding floor prices and scarcity. Although I think scarcity and rarity tools may cause a problem.
You just called it scarcity, which I think is even better. Scarcity.
It's
that thing you look at it and it's like, and that's why they're apes. That's why they're apes.
Yeah, so I mean, really, like this, I've been hoodwinked by you and your genius brain.
Hoodwinked?
Yeah, hoodwinked.
Give it back. Give back the ETH.
Well, I'm going to offer you something now.
Where's my cup, bruv? Where's my cup, bruv?
Here's your cup. Here's your cup.
What's happening?
Right. My mutant ape. I'll give you.
Okay. I feel something coming here.
For 10 of your dogs. And then you keep the rest, which is about even. In fact, you come out. You come out with the profit on this. You come out with the profit on this. I spent 7.7 ETH on that. Floor price now about 5.
So you're saying 10 top dogs.
Yes.
That's quite, I gave 10 of those away back in the day. Wow.
Well, you're an idiot.
For a mutant ape.
And the original ape price. So we're quits. Spiritually.
Ooh. Digital handshake. I'll take it.
Hang on.
I'll take it. I'll take it because I know I know you'll treasure those top dogs.
No, I'm going to kill them immediately because you get cats.
You get cats. Kill the dogs for cats. I'm going to cross over to Alp, who's sitting beside me here, because Alp also sold his ape, but you sold it for considerably less than Swanee did.
I did. Yeah, that's correct. I sold it at the beginning of August. I thought the whole market is going to just go down. I thought that was a top. And the day after I sold it, they announced that it's going to go sale for on Christie's. So the floor went right up to like 15 ETH in a couple days after I sold it.
Are you pissed or are you secretly thankful? Because still, I mean, do you mind telling us what you sold it for or not? You don't have to.
I sold it for 9 ETH, and
which is a lot of cake.
It's not bad, but the thing about crypto is usually like after you do something, you look back and then you calculate this hypothetical. What would I have if I hadn't that sold it? And that feels like a loss. It's a very weird behavior that you do. At least I do it. And but right now that 9 ETH is around like 30 grand, and I can't complain about it. It's not bad. But you have 55 ETH, which is insane.
Well, I'm gonna waste it, so don't worry about it.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Now that you've had this win, like, well, what's next? The thing is, what happens is these cascade down through the so-called lesser projects. So you see this kind of buying frenzy in the ones that look cheap. So people who made money on apes. That hasn't happened because ETH is charging. But what I suspect will happen is that once ETH stops charging, shitcoins will get a boost. But I believe PFPs will also get another boost. And so people are now calling the death of NFTs part 2 because of ETH going up and everyone believing that ETH was the only game that anyone was interested in. Anyway, I think that's slightly short-sighted. But we have, there's so many things we could talk about. I'm actually going to cover loot next time that we come on the show.
Because that came out of nowhere. I mean, that came out of nowhere.
Everybody has been talking about loot today. If you don't know, it's an adventure that is not even an NFT. It's a bunch of text. You go to the contract to mint it. People have minted these, and a whole community is born up, not because the project was built out, but because the project wasn't built out. And so it's this idea of entrusting your community and entrusting a bunch of smart people to take something and imprint their own identity and their own vision and their own creativity on it, because you've simply said, yeah, go ahead. And that permissionlessness, it's a big story for this space. I think it ties into, again, why CryptoPunks was so successful. It's, you know, the less hyped a thing, the more discovered it is unintentionally, the better. And it keeps playing out again and again and again. The more attention, the more hype there is on something, the less successful it will be in the long run, because people, they want to find it for themselves and own it for themselves. It's a big reason why Bored Apes was so successful, because this community found their feet in it and made it their own in the face of what they thought was elitism in terms of the punks and the me-bits. And I think it's great. So
throw up the scimitar, because I know that you have a little bag of loot. Earlier today, Director Schmidt asked me to do a little Sharpie version of it, so I threw one up. Let's have a look. Hit me, DJ. Get them slides ready. Oh, she's fucking fired.
No, we're doing it. So you made a Supermassive magic show thing.
Hang on, there's probably some dodgy swearing in there. There it is, top one.
Yeah. So Swanee made a scimitar. So this was Simon's interpretation.
I'm so glad there's no nude that I sent you.
Oh my god, that would be so bad. Live WhatsApp porn. So this is an interpretation of the text that was on the NFT, because it's literally just a bunch of kind of random descriptions or properties, and normally these are interpreted visually by an artist or generatively, but that hasn't happened. So it's up to us to do these things how we want. So I kind of tasked you with coming up with something that you thought was your interpretation, and so a lot of people have fixated on this feeling like a D&D medieval adventure, but you leaned into your style, which is Sharpie art. It's your fingers on a board. You've got 5 seconds to make an impression, and then it's committed to the canvas forever. And that's what you came out with, and I kind of love them. I think we will explore this one further. But anyway, there's a massive story on loot, and I think just the way it's accelerating into the sunset, I do feel like this is the next kind of paradigm weird shift in this space. So amazing. I put a tweet out saying we will be premiering the show, and we wanted to know what people wanted us to look at as a kind of live look through a collection. It was Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Koala Intelligence Agency, or Creature World. The overwhelming winner was Koala Intelligence Agency, which is a collection of 10,000 unique koalas. Nothing unique about that. Here they are. Are they cute? Well, you tell me. And we are going to have a look and see what we can find here in this collection, because the collection's done quite well. The floor price is 0.43 ETH. I can't remember what the top floor price was, but it was decent.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing that they've done is the whole geocache element to it. So once you become part of the investigation agency, you are a koala charged with finding secrets around the world. And they've actually, if you don't know what geocaching out there, girls and boys and in betweens, is that
back in the mid-90s.
Back in the mid-90s,
it was a big sport for nerds with GPS.
Not even GPS, with a compass and the sun. So people hide things in places and you go and find them, but where they've hidden things and what's inside them is either ETH tokens or stuff that you can spend and have, which I quite like, because if the one thing that irks me about NFTs is it's insular and on your phone, this is doing the opposite. It's getting you out of the house, and it's kind of like Pokemon Go to some extent.
Yeah, that was the whole Pokemon Go thing. Is like, we know kids are going to be on their phones, so we're going to get them out and about, walking around. Well, actually, what happens is they just sit down and they go, "Oh, it's over there."
No, you still see them around like groups, like awkward-looking men.
Oh my god, my kids just got into Pokemon Go. They love it. They love it.
My housemate loves it. He's like all looking for things, and like he goes out on his bike.
So geocaching's a thing. I think generally what I tend to do is I will look on the OpenSea page for a project, and I'll just, rather than looking at rarity, because you can get in the way a little bit, I just kind of have a look at the collection to see if I actually like the art. Because some of these things, I absolutely hate it. Yeah, like it just does nothing for me. Like Creature World, I looked at the collection, it just wasn't for me. I mean, and I'm not saying it's shit, it's just it wasn't for me. Koala World, I mean, we've got variations on a theme here, haven't we? Like Bored Apes set the tone for this style.
Some I don't like. Some I don't like at all. And this is, I guess we're non-partisan. The ones with the tattoo, I absolutely love. I think they're brilliant. The ones without the tattoo.
So like this one here.
Yeah. which is owned by you, is it not?
Well, we both acquired one because we figured it would be important for us for the show. It's not at all important for the show.
Well, you say that. What actually I did was send you a JPEG of the one I liked, and then what you did is brought one and then sent me your OpenSea.
Oh, I didn't really. You didn't buy it.
And then what I did is not tell you.
Oh, you asshole!
Sorry,
I thought we were friends.
I wanted to buy it, and then I was like, oh, I couldn't find the one I liked anymore. And I was like, oh, damn it. I thought what I'll do is I'll wait till we're live and then tell
you. Are a horrible human. You are a horrible human on so many levels. So here's one on fire. So basically what you can do if you like the ones on fire, you can go down to the properties tab and you can have a look at that trait, and then you can see all the other ones that also have that trait. That's always a good way of doing it. You can also do that. Yes, that is probably a good tip. What you can also do is click down the side here, and then generally, if you want the rare ones, you just scroll down. If we can look for hazmat suits.
Look at the hazmat on fire. 16.9.
There you go. So people know there's a rare, and then we can go and look at the rarity chart here on Rarity Tools. What I don't like is the fact that these top 35, 42, they've all got the same helmet. So, like,
well, that's because of
what's the difference between these?
Well, that's an algorithmic thing as well. It's not necessarily style or quality. It's just because of numbers, and that's how Rarity Tools will put them together. Yeah. And I have noticed sometimes in some of the rankings, there's like 5 number ones. So I guess they're
yeah, that's because those are one of ones and those are special. Like Subducks has a bunch of one of ones, and they're all equally rare because they're one of ones. And so you have this. I guess you would call it the special editions. And I think there's nothing wrong with that because the special editions are a different collecting proposition in their own right. So what I basically what I would tend to do is I look at a couple of different things here. I'll look at the floor price and I'll say, is it worth picking up the floor? Because the floor is where the liquidity line is. So if you are in a position where you're simply looking at these things as a potential flip, which a lot of people are, then you will look to sweep the floor and hope that you will basically pick up the sales at a certain point, because these things tend to move pretty quickly when they do. So sweeping the floor is quite a valid strategy as long as you kind of have a good idea of where the market is at. Or I'll just set a price and I will say, I want to spend a max of 1 ETH, and then I'll apply that. And generally what I'm looking for is at least top 1,000 and ideally top 500.
And also,
because a top 500 asset, you can probably sell if it's a good collection. You'll get a decent check for it.
1109. Look at 1109. See, and also you got to like it. You got to, if this is within your range, within your budget, within your rarity scarcity, get one you like as well. Because where's it gone? The one with the 1109. It had 1109 is a nice one. There, look, the dude with the headphones and because that's kind of like my dressing gown.
Exactly. Like some of them have got a vibe. Some of them just speak to you. Like it took me a really long time to change my Twitter profile, but I did because I finally found one that I felt kind of just represented me adequately. So here he is.
That does remind me of you, kind of
just mischievous and mucking about and always dressed up in some stupid outfit. That's why. So if you get a vibe of these things, it doesn't really matter what you spend on it. But this one has a vibe. He has a vibe. Do I like this collection? Not really. Do I own one? Yes. And the reason I own it, I got a floor. It's pink because my daughter is obsessed with these pink ones.
And she wants tattoos are cool. And it says Hug Life.
It says Hug Life. It's not even loading. There it is. Yeah, so I got this one because I'm putting together, like an 18th birthday NFT collection for my daughter and my son. And who knows what they'll be worth when it gets there. But, we're just picking up kind of fun things. I asked her if she liked it. She said she did. So that's the Koala Intelligence Agency. And that is our little run through of the week. Next week, we'll pick up another collection to have a kind of look into. But, I mean, generally, I can see why people would like these. They did a lot better than I thought they would. It's like Cool Cats, though. If it's not your style, it's not your style. A project that I do want to flag up, though, is by this guy, Sven NFT. He's the guy that put me onto the Lambdas, actually, funny enough. Sven released Noobs. Noobs is a collection of, they call them beginner NFTs. And I think what's great about this is, the art is pretty cool. It's it's a bit like the Lambdas. They're just super cute. But they release them cheaply, but they also release them with zero hype. So all Sven did was he put the sale live, and then he just told a few people that it was happening, and then he allowed it to grow organically. We are giving away 5 of these noobs today for any new subscribers to the channel. The whole idea about noobs is not to sell out the collection. What he wants to do is encourage new people to the space to form a community and share information, and then also lean on his experience as a collector to learn more about NFT collecting. If you're a noob community member, you will receive NFT drops from artists, and Sven knows a lot of amazing people in this space, and there's a lot of goodwill. I know that he speaks very highly of the Top Dogs team, but his whole thing is, how do we help our collector base level up their NFT game from noob to OG? Because we've seen a lot of people doing extremely well out of NFTs, but the question is, how did they get there? What information do they have? And the whole idea of the Noobs collection is to enable people who don't have masses of capital up front to gain the kind of knowledge that you need to really sift the wheat from the chaff and understand when you're being scammed, how to, navigate this space successfully. Of course, what we're hoping is that the space grows exponentially and becomes what we think it could be, but it's still such early days, we just don't know. So we're going to be giving these away. Any new subscriber, I think the terms and conditions will be in the post below, but any new subscriber will be eligible. We're actually going to come up with some much more innovative ways of doing NFT giveaways. This show came on.
What about old subscribers?
Old subscribers, you'll get your time. You'll get your time. Old subscribers had an opportunity to get 10 Top Dog Beat Club NFTs from me.
Yeah, you slept on it, bruv and sisters.
So this show is going out fortnightly. Next time we come out, we'll have a much stronger NFT giveaway proposition and a way of gaining access to it that will be somewhat different. And of course,
well, maybe there's a way to access these free NFTs already, but you just might have missed it. Rewind the video at 4 minutes 16 and play backwards in the dark. Ooh.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. Also coming up, we will be giving away, if I can find it, Ape Aesthetics. There's
just watch the tabs, man. Like I'm scared about these tabs now.
So Ape Aesthetics, Ape Aesthetics is a team that's building or creating fashion items through Meta Factory, which is one of the kind of great in real life NFT merch brands in crypto. And dfarmer.eth has put together a really cool collection. There was a Cheetah Gang one. The Pimp Gang one is coming up soon, but we will have one of those to give away very, very soon, and I'm very, very excited about that. So stay tuned for the channel for more giveaways. We're going to be doing a lot of NFT giveaways. I think it's really important that people get their hands on these. For instance, Lambdas, for instance, Noobs. So we will have our game for giveaways much better dialed in next time we come on the air. But it's time to look at the projects that are coming up now. The ones we're looking forward to. We shot stings yesterday.
Yeah, where are
they? And we didn't have time to edit them because you know what? We're too busy. We're just too busy. I'm sorry about that. But this show will be a lot more professional next time we come on the air. But we just had to start. Isn't that right, Alp?
That is right.
Nice cut.
He doesn't say much. He doesn't much. He doesn't say much. But when he does, people listen. So what are you looking forward to coming up? What's coming out that's got you moist around the earlobes?
It's going to have to be the Mechaverse. Because,
the Mechaverse.
I like pink stuff and I like robots. And there's a lot of pink robots, although they've had a little bit of trouble, I think, with Bandai. And they've
have they?
Yeah, they've had to pull back their launch window, I think.
You're so on it. You're so on it. So these are Gundam.
Ripping off Gundams. Yeah. I love these. I'm gonna get a pink one that looks like a cat. I mean, I'm a huge robot fan. I'm half Asian, for God's sake. I've got robots in my blood. I mean, I love them. They kind of like got that Lego mixed with Gundam feel. So you got Lego.
There actually is a Lego one. I think. Oh, this is the trailer. So you get to see the Lego one in the trailer. Yeah, it was just a little flash of it there. You, since I've known you, have been just all over Gundam. You love Gundam. And
I can't wait for these.
But and these, I'm presuming these will be 3D models that you can download and then take into the metaverse and be, actually become.
Well, you can battle them.
I mean, they look great. The whatever render engine they're using for the high res renders it's probably Octane or something like that. It looks great. I also have seen these and thought, yeah, because I guess what you're looking for. I mean, what I'm looking for in any project that I see that I might want to take a few pieces of is I just want it to be different. I want it to add something new to my life. And like I saw these, I'm like, yeah, I kind of.
Of course, you gotta love them. It's just that samurai aesthetic. Look, I'm Gundam. I'm a Gundam. I love robots. I love pink stuff. So it's just a double win for me. And the community has been round since the sort of 70s, really, with the robot stuff. There's something just deeply ingrained in me that I have to love robots. So yeah, it's a good shout, that one.
The other one is Akira. Akira is the new project that's coming from Artifact Studios. Artifact is fast becoming the supreme of crypto. Their commitment to doing stuff at the very highest possible level, but also just in a very crypto specific way, is amazing. They've done drops with Ferocious. They've done drops with Jeff Staple. They have done the space strips, which are partnerships with various influencers and artists in the space. They are doing a PFP project called Akira.
Can I just say, before you continue, is that I didn't know that it was pronounced Artifact.
Well, now you do. They're French. If we look at the tweet from Artifact, they say, no one is ready for what's coming. Even us aren't ready. And even your spell check is not ready.
PFP. Sorry, French people. I'm going to say something that you're not going to like. I have sucked the hype back into my pipe. I don't think I dig them. There's something about what I've seen, especially in the PFPs. Yeah, look, just click on any PFP. I'm going to say, don't dig it. I don't.
No, and I understand where you're coming from. I think when you see these things alive and moving, and also bear in mind that there's a bunch of these in the collection. But what is undeniable is that the attention to detail, the level of just craftsmanship in the work is unparalleled. I'll be honest.
It is. Technically agree, which is why I think the robots are good. And the trainers I didn't like, the pigeons I liked. But I think there's, and this is no disrespect to Vitificate Studio in France. But I think they lack, for me personally, they lack some kind of like soul element where I think, oh, I love that little thing. I don't love it.
That's always going to be the case when you have photorealistic, textured models like this. That there needs to be, you need to see these things come alive. What I think is, what I think is undeniable here is that there's an evolution of these PFPs. We've had the 2-dimensional ones like Bored Apes that have seen incredible success because they're so easy to just put on your Twitter and Telegram channels. That there is this very rapid maturation of what we think of as metaverse in terms of things that people can actually play with and work with. Meebits were ahead of their time, but the Meebit launch event for the Meebits DAO is this evening. I'm going to put on my Meebit skin in VR and go and mess around in Somnium, and I'm going to be a pig in VR. I mean, that's one version of this, but there's another version of this.
One of your dreams come true.
There's another kind of scaled up version of this, which is we're exploring as part of our production for next year, which will be taking these 3D, fully fleshed out, fully rigged avatars and becoming them, and actually starting to do more and more and more as these avatars. The problem is that post-production on a 3D animated project is heavy and it's very, very niche. And it's only a handful of people that can really do that. There is a way of avoiding all of that and getting around it through a piece of technology that is in fact free. And that is why I'm so excited about these, because I feel like the access to a character that has a built-in community, but also has its own unique identity that you can just be and travel all around the different metaverses that you want to go through is amazing. What's missing is a portable 3D file format that is universal. That's coming. You can
You
feel that
think?
it's coming. Yeah,
You think?
it's
Because what that's akin
coming.
to is taking. Well, I mean, let's just talk about it like this. Super Smash Brothers essentially did that. They created their own metaverse by bringing in different characters from Sony, from PlayStation, from Nintendo, which was an unheard of thing. So I mean, the metaverse I think is really trying to do that. But I just think in terms of, I mean, this is decentralized, so there's not going to be copyright issues and trademark issues. But that is going to be difficult just to have these skeleton formats, which will be able to load in every single person's metaverse. That is the dream, and I can't wait for it to happen. To be able to take your super high res Rakatifica Studios avatar, drive your car around in Somnium, and just bump into a 16 by 16 crypto punk that's fully 3D. I think that's fun.
Well, imagine you're a Twitch streamer and you could be this.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the cost to you of getting that character built is ridiculous. But if you're a new creator coming into this and you have one of these, and you also have this amazing community that's built around it, and there will be derivatives. I can see one of these becoming the next kind of big superstar, and it might just be a completely virtual being with its own Instagram account and its own social media accounts, all of these kind of things.
Well,
I just don't know.
There already. You're kind of like with people like Code Miko.
Miko. Shout out to Code Miko. You are amazing. Shout out to Corey Strasburger, who's Xanadu. Completely leading the way in this stuff. Amazing.
VTubers. Yeah. I've been telling you to get, you've been busting my balls about NFTs. I need to see you as a 19-year-old duck pig with ponytails. Soon.
Spoiler alert. It's already happening. We've ordered the gear. Next year, the Defiant. Watch out. That's all I'm gonna say. This beautiful face. We're getting rid of it. And we're just going to get this guy.
We can all be Alp. We can be the Alpha Alp. The Alpha.
It'll be like John Malkovich. Have you seen, being John Malkovich? Malkovich.
Being John Alpovich.
John Alpovich! If I had a mic, I would drop it right now.
I can drop a pen.
Alp, you've been getting ready for Artifact.
I am, yeah. What should I do about it?
Nothing. Top tips. Artifact is going to be incredibly hard to get into in the public sale. I'm just going to say it now. Unfortunately, the pre-sale, for which you qualify by owning an Artifact NFT, well, those are so expensive now that probably the alpha is all gone. I don't really know what the best strategy for Akira is. Join the Discord. They are hyping this thing senseless. They are releasing
you have
leaks.
to buy a Ferocious thing or a Steeples thing, which is a top entry.
I love the project. I wish in my heart of hearts that they had said nothing and dropped it like a Beyonce album. They haven't. We are where we are. It may well signal the death knell of the NFT market, or it may well signal the opening up of a completely new PFP life through Metaverse, through Somnium, through Wilder World, potentially. I don't know. All sorts of different things. What I do know is that if we are living in a simulation, it's built on Unreal 5, because that, my friends, is next level. In fact, it's right now level. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Well, listen, we've had an hour of chat. There was so much more we wanted to cover. I just wanted to give a shout out to World of Women, who reached out to us to ask if we could give them a shout, and I will, because I think it's a great project. It's all about diversity, inclusive in women's representation in tech and art, and they've done incredibly well. The highest sale of 60 ETH, current minimum price was 1.75 when they reached out to us, but they have 4,000 unique owners in the 10,000 supply. Well, that's pretty damn good.
Super
and so
nice
far, they've donated 67 ETH to charity supporting women, and 103 ETH reinvested into crypto artists through a collecting fund. Yeah, it's a good project. And that's probably the most I can say about it. Really,
it reminds me of the pre-Phil Collins early 80s album covers when they have the stencil spray. I really love that. I think it's just reminds me of Malibu cocktails, Baby Sham adverts, and Miami Vice.
It does have that vibe to it. And again, always looking for something that's just a little bit different, that has a little bit of a shape to it. I mean, for me, the projects that I've enjoyed and I continue to enjoy of late, Vogu's, Animetas, Fluffs. There's some really interesting things happening with Fluffs.
Can I just say,
sup ducks are my jam. I love that community. They're just fun. The sup train, it's just like they go in someone's Twitter and they just say sup, and like, how can you not like when someone goes sup?
I need to make a point here.
It is September.
So it is September. I need to make a point here. Koala bears, top dogs, ducks, all these animal things, are giving a lot of money to actual animal projects. So it's funny, the old animal altruism, or the digital AA, as I'm now saying it, as I make it up, is kind of a nice thing. You know, it's something that other things can't do. You can buy a Panini sticker or a rare Star Wars figure, but ain't no animal gonna get saved. But you buy that one looks like Scrooge McDuck.
Hey,
Some of them look like penises.
You can buy a dick for 150.
Is that meant to be a dick duck? I
No,
don't.
it is a dick. It's a duck with a dick on its head. No, I know, but it's fun. It's a talking point.
What's fun about a duck with a dick on its head?
You've just said it. Actually, the ducks have a huge September coming up. So this is a case in point, because the ducks you're going to get airdrop frogs, and they've also got a duck token coming up. But with the duck token, you'll be able to upgrade your duck. So if you have a trait you don't like, there's a good chance you'll be able to change it. And generally, what I like about the ducks, they just make me smile. Like nearly all of them have something fun and weird and goofy about them, and they just have these really bizarre set of traits. Who cares?
I care.
I don't care. I don't care. It's just it's just a really fun project, and the lead creative on it, Frankie Nines, is just on it. You can tell he's on it.
I like the fact that they all look different. Even the ones with similar traits, they all look.
Some of them look a little bit samey, but I mean, you're always going to get that in a project that has this this generative approach to it. But you know, it was cool. So anyway, anything else you want to add, Mr. Wan? It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you,
I would like
Gazimov, as well, for your wise words as always.
Yeah, I would just like to thank everybody in the community for welcoming me into their hearts, and whatever you do, stay safe out there.
Yeah, our NFT's dead. Well, he's dead, which means this broadcast dead. It's been a pleasure having you. Don't forget to subscribe, like. Oh, he's back. You missed it. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Like, we will be back in 2 weeks for another show, and there's so much to cover. Who knows what the space will look like once we get there? But be safe out there. Don't buy anything you can't afford, and don't mortgage your kidneys for JPEGs. We'll get that on a t-shirt for you. Merch coming. You heard it here.